I am not a financial advisor. These videos are all meant for educational purposes only. All Complete Trader Academy videos are my personal opinion and perspective. Trading carries a high level of risk, and all results are your own responsibility. Please always demo first. Hey everybody, welcome back to CT Review. Today is July 16, Wednesday, 2025. Hope you had a good day today. So this is our 601th video. Hope this has been helping, and it's super fire. This video is also fire. What we ended up doing, we shakered out. So we ended up getting up into this imbalance and breakout level, okay? And then to the tick here, and then reverse 930, came all the way down for some drives, squeezed out all the buyers from the opening week gap, and then this guy right there, that buddy right there. See that thin little line? You're going to see why it's important. You can see that it's quoted here. I also have this as a 4-hour imbalance right here. This, I highlighted this one with the gaps. And you're going to see how we end up seeing that. Also, on the 15-minute here, you'll see, when I made the video yesterday, we speakered out here. High, low, high. See how we're sweeping above Asia? High, and then low. Bounces on top of the gap. Comes up, squeezes out. That's the 930. For one standard deviation up to the tick. Same damn level down there. All right, and then sold off. Couple drives down, and then you'll see how we use it's deleted now, but I should redo it. It was the 15-minute. I just didn't like all the shit on the chart, so I'll do it here for a second so you'll understand what I was doing on the buy. Where you at? Come on, let's go. And then this could be actually refined to an hour. I do remember that as well. You'll see how it was going to be refined to an hour as well. And then we swept down here, and then we took out that guy. See that guy right there? And what's the reason? What's the purpose of buying? What's the purpose of buying this like that, right? Because just like last week, when we gapped down this early in the week, look at the low. When the low tagged that guy, that's the people who were buying, trying to get to that new high, right? They came back and they squeezed them. They did the exact same thing this week. So that's going to explain this. And now that you've understood that, mentioned everything, let's get into it here. So also back to the levels, I have the main green level. I put that back. That's just the all-time high from earlier in the year. I have this green level, which is the new high that we just ran. Obviously yesterday, and then there's a new obviously high, right? So, and I have this dragged out here because of the fact that when we came below it, this is also, general speaking, higher time frame traders, simple decision of breakout sellers here, right? So I wasn't involved, but I knew it was selling, right? We were talking about it while I was selling. And then that's what this level is, and you'll see here, you'll see what I got going on here. I got the red right here. This is a target that I'd love to hit, but doesn't mean I can get it. And then we also have this target here, which is going to be that 25%. Why? Because that's the first imbalance right there. All right, first imbalance right there. And then and it's coupled with well, that's pretty much really all I want to mention there. So now that I've said all that, let's go into the framework and the mindset of how are we trading today, because we understand we got to push up. We've been talking about high resistance pullbacks for weeks now, right? I said it even in yesterday's video, for sure, beating a dead horse. But we had 8:30 news, and you see a gap right here. Okay, so we got a gap right here, right? And then we pop up. I'm ready at 9:30. Not even ready at 8:30. First of all, I like to only get ready at 8:30 when it's like Thursdays and Fridays, generally speaking. Like if I'm gonna trade it. Post obviously, or if it's during the week, could be ready to analyze it, but I won't be touching it, right? So that's the goal here. It's not necessary, but look at 9:30, shoots up. This is another similar story that happened on the 15-second, and then shoots down here. And I tried to take this sell right fucking here, and tell me why I don't get filled. And I was super pissed. And I was like, bro, what the fuck? So my shit was frozen. And then this was now here. And I'm just like, you know what? Fuck off. So the general goal to sell this was what? Now, I don't expect to hit this area here, because we've already, if you look here on the 15, we've already swept all that imbalance. Squeezed, I'll say. or a reprint, right? You can see it right there very clearly on the 4 hour with that imbalance right there. So what the agenda is obviously to, when we have the opening range gap, we understand we're in a premium. We're going to look for discount, so it's going to sell off, right? A simple dump and pump is all I was looking for. So I missed this dump, right? And then we get the flow here. We're getting, these are all entries. I normally don't just take these trades though, but we wanted to, there's zero price action. It's called a volume imbalance. So we come in and sealing that. Here's the sealant of the opening range gap in the box. You see that? And then obviously here's an imbalance here, holding. Here is the square here. This is the opening day gap, and then this orange is the midnight level. And then I've made here the highlighting of that wick. So we're coming into that wick, right? So before we do, we break down again, another imbalance. We get some drives, and then we get the finale. Boom. We don't get a break of structure here yet. So you see that? C equals. Comes down, and then now we're tapping this wick. And on a 1 hour, this is super teaching, so I'll go on the 1 hour. So now that it's drawn, you're going to see me talking about that area. If you had moved it to the hour, you'll see that it's 50%. It's tagging. Now that you see it, I'll go right back to it. It's this area right here. See how we tagged that? I'll explain how I buy this right here. But I do take a loss right there. Why? Because it's the third drive, and it was ugly price action. I knew better, but it's okay. I knew we were trying to buy inside this wick. Why? Because of the fact that we want to push up and wipe out some of these sellers, right? That's the only thing I'm looking at besides obviously coming to the first imbalance. You can see that I have it highlighted here and here in the trade. And before I continue, let me put it back to the refined area of the 15-minute wick. All right, rejection wick. And you can see we bounce right on top of there. And I was like, okay, little being antsy, but it was still a great trade. I knew we were oversold. And then it took off, it failed, and then I bought it again right here. Look how that body, which is 10:08, you're still in the macro time, you see how that little swing low got formed, and the body's sitting there. Now, that'll make sense for you here. Then we tag it. I'm staggering it just a little bit so it doesn't get lost. But anyway, so we tag in here, and then we tag it, and then we're pushing up entry. Okay. So what are we doing here? Well, there's a shift right here, and I got it highlighted here, right? So you got negative 1 to 1.5 and 2 to 2.5. I was trying to get this as a minimum goal. Okay. Obviously, I'm bullish, so I'd like to come up here, but I do know that there's a risk of being in this 1 and 1.5. But here's the fuckery. They did manual intervention today. So we shift here, we retrace, imbalance, get into here, inversion, holds it, pushes up to the concealment, and then pulls back. Not a big deal, pushes up again. Now, I was about to squeeze this and start trailing. I didn't even have a second to do it because of the fact that I was trying to change the color of this midnight level because I'm tired of being orange. I've been saying it for years that I should probably change this color. So I decided to try to change the color, and I'm looking at colors and fucking looking at purple and dash lines and all this dumb shit. And then this candle pushes in milliseconds. And I was like, what the fuck? That's manual intervention. Oh, look how they tagged this guy right here. Look at it. Oh, so convenient. So it bounced up. I'm like, I'm letting it do this thing. I'm like, dude, this is about to get out, or I'm about to try to push it back up and get out. So in this trade, I want to show you how I did my stop loss, because I want to leave it there for you because it hasn't moved. And where am I putting it? I'm putting it obviously at the open of that candle. Shouldn't be going lower than that if it's buying. But what does it do? It starts pushing back up. We tag, we're getting wicks here, and now we're sitting here at this level. So the decision was to cut it out. What did they do? They ended up flashing and coming down a little bit after we took out this high, which you'll see in a second. Well, before I even continue that, yeah, I've already mentioned this. Okay, so now there's going to be a lot kind of going on here with the with the extensions and the projections, but just it's not hard. Just follow me for a second. So that flash move, manual intervention, they know we're on their back. They know we're on their back. It's difficult for them. So, anyways, and they fucking hit that high. Son of a bitch. Finally. Okay, so and then you can see here that we're stuck in here, right? And take a look at this. This is that control of price. So when we're coming down, we're getting a control of price. Why? Because of this last up candle. Now, if you drag this still all the way out, you will see that it is hitting it. Look at the bodies respecting that right there. That's that control of price candle. And that's why I was like, man, fuck that. I'm gonna wait for it to raid or go a direction so I can get back in another swing. So move one, I missed move one. I'm trying to catch move two. Does move two keep going, or is it gonna be another sell by sell day like it was yesterday? This was more of a dump and a pump. Yesterday was a sell by sell because sell by sells mean that it's going to close bearish and stay low like it did here yesterday, right? But anyways, and notice how now I'm going to tag this candle. See this candle right here? This little blue one? I'm going to put the high right there. And look how we have the same level. See that? So that right there is a signature of it's going to reverse. As soon as it tapped that bitch, like the funk, and then it slammed. I was like, you bitches. Anyways, I'm using this projection here just with the swing low and the swing high right here. This is a little tricky. I could have done the whole thing really. And you could see probably it be a 1 and 1.5. But at that time, I was just using this projection. So there's one right here that comes down. You see the 1 and 1.5, 2 and 1. Okay. Then you see again when we come down here, I highlight just the swing here. So this low, it makes that lower high, shoots down, then we break it. So I got you see the 1 to the 0 right there. And I'm going up. It's 1 and 1.5 right there. So before I get in that area, this is selling down all the way. Here's 2 to 2.5. Here's 3.5 to 4. Now look at 3.5 to 4. The 3.5 is literally laying on 50% of the gap. So, and now I'm showing you the 4 hour imbalance because I saw that. I wanted to see if it was going to buy from there. Sure enough, it did. I took this buy and then it fucking came against me again. So I'm already frustrated, right? I'm already frustrated for missing the sell. I'm not that frustrated with this, but it was just still frustrating as fuck. And then I understand that when it came down here, we're on an oversold right here, right? And we tag this area, we seal it. That 4 hour level, it's perfect, right? You see the blue box in the background. So okay, cool. And it made some 3 drives, and then it stops. It gets back into now it's in this 1 and 1.5 right here. We're also using this imbalance here, but it's just really low. Not too much of a premium that they're going to give you. And you have this block here as well. Not perfect, but pretty much staying in there. This up candle, and the bodies are with this area. So it sells off again. Okay, cool. Sells off. Where is it going? You're looking to the left of the chart. Where is it going? Well, it wants to seal this this imbalance. It wants to reference it outside. So we're waiting for it to come outside of it. And in doing so, to the left of the chart, you immediately see that low that we talked about that they fucked like they did last week, and they fucked those guys right there. So you see that? We're also in this down candle also. What's it called? By the way, we were over here, this 2 to 2.5 right here, and trying to buy that as well, right? But you have a risk of it coming lower down. Okay, it does. And then it hits. Look at this here. When it comes outside of the gap in the purple of the opening week gap, you can see that the -2 to 3 standard deviations right here, 50% is literally laying on that level. So for example, and I'm giving you fire, super fire. So right between here, see that? Look at this level. Can you eyeball that? Can you see that? It's damn near 50%, right? In between here, see that? We tag that guy, and then we take off. Let me go back to this. So and then I project this area right here. See that? So we got these consecutive candles. What in this situation, how I'm doing it is I'm because we break through. I'm using the candles bodies only. All right, and then this was a screenshot, yeah. But there's 1 and 1.5 right here. The 1.5 is literally like right over here. But we're dipping in there. We have tagged that low that's super key in this situation, right? All the things I just mentioned. Look how we dig right into that and sweep it. And sure enough, I'm looking for the reaction. Immediately, we have a second touch here on this oversold with a divergence as well. Beautiful. I'm taking that shot for 100%. Sure enough, beautiful. Comes right back in, 50%, tags. You see that green level, that line. I mean, I got it very clear that that's on there, right? Just to make sure. It tags it. Beautiful. Comes right back and you see a wick. It's ready to roll. Comes in. Now, closes, doesn't close, but it's comes in, holds this area. Each inversion is just going right past it. Right past it's empty. We're above that 50% here. And then we push back. I didn't draw it or anything, but there's an imbalance right there. You can see that. We tag in it right there. And then we're pushing. Now, I kept those same levels on the chart now. Now, what am I doing here? Well, I understand that we have a big dump. We have exceeded the range. I mean, we have literally wiped out the entire fucking range. So my obvious understanding is to come back up and get these guys here. Okay. So what am I doing? I still have this as a target. The day didn't change. Why? Because why am I circling this? Because this 25% is right underneath that first imbalance. Okay. So, and then on top of that, with now that I buy here, we're pushing up. Okay. And I took some losses and it's no big deal. You can see I'm projecting it from here to here, the yellow candles. See the yellow candles bodies? Same principle that I did here. Okay, with that. This is for new people who are maybe listening and I'm explaining well. So I'm measuring that to that as well. Why am I doing that? Well, because there's no really swing here that I can kind of measure. I don't want to measure the whole thing. More a refined situation is these are consecutive candles. This is a change in delivery once we pass it and we come back in. That's all that was. Little speaker there. Oh, 25% of the weekly, top 25% of the gap, right? You can't miss that information. But what am I doing? So it shoots all the way up. Boom. I was like, with a blink of an eye. At the time, you see, I tried to mess around with it. The little dash line. I changed it back to the orange, by the way, because I don't like it. But I was changing it. You see that shit? I changed it right there. You'll see me go back to it. But we come and we tag. Boom. The opening day. So the opening day gap and that midnight level are going to be also fucking key. Okay, so after the projection, you see the 1 and 1.5. I've already had a rough day, okay, but I've got this beautiful trade that pushes up, and I'm holding it. Where am I holding this to? Well, I don't have an overbought. This was faking the funk. See how they tagged that? And even when I thought to get out and it was pushing that high, I was going to squeeze it already had wicked. I was like, fucking bitch. I was, for some reason, every time I looked away, dude, fucking thing moved. But why was I not worried about when it coming back and coming in? See this imbalance right here? So I don't have it drawn. I don't need it. We came in, we sealed that. I also have this. This is what I would have drawn. I didn't draw it though. I'm going to draw it now though. But that inversion right there. See that? See that inversion? So we're coming in and then we're boom 50% almost right there. And then we're just digging in. I wasn't concerned about this area. Why would you? And you might ask me why. Well, number one, I know they want to take out this high. All right, we want to get into here. This fucking shit right here. Super unfair, but you know, algorithms who are mechanical are punching in and selling this shit. But point is that we have the 50 there, and then the 75, the top 25. But anyways, when it tags it and it retraces, I'm not worried because this is massive. What they did is they took care of the breakout trader. That's all they were trying to do, right? And then this is on a 5 minute, you'll see this as a support block, and it's 50% of it. So if I went to a 5 minute, oh, you can't. This is a screenshot. This is how I make videos long, and I got to do something different because now my 601th video. And only 15 people watching. It's not really encouraging, so whatever. But we'll see here. So let's just take I'll take the whole candle here. You see that from the candle, the blue one? Oh, did I make a mistake here? Boom. Bam. So low, high, lower, low, break. This is support. And 50%. I don't use this. I don't use these candles too much, but I understand the logic. I'm just trying to explain to you why I wasn't really concerned here. And then let me go back to 1 minute, and then I want to be done, buddy. So anyways, not worried about it. We push up here and we finally get above. I'm starting to squeeze it out. Why? Because it's a fucking amazing trade. And I don't need to be right about going up. It's super suspect. So I don't need to be right here. I do want to get into this candle though. That's what I was really holding for above this high. And then I want to squeeze it out because also I'm exhausted. It's lunch. It's almost 1 o'clock. And you generally want to hold a trade like this into like 1 to 115 because the old school floor traders, that's the general gist of when they would take lunch. They would generally be stuck to trading about that moment, and then they'll go even quit for the day. So 1 to 115 is kind of like a sweet spot, more 115. But I'm getting into that time frame, and I'm giving you the game, and I'm getting this overbought. So I want to see that. Guess what? My original target is still there, and so is that. Don't forget, obviously, I know this 930 is a real target, plus the high, and then also the 930 level, which is that first line, right? Obviously. And then you have this 1 to 1.5 on, forget the projections over here. We already came down. But the projection that I have from here to here with these candles, with these down candles, that's 1 on 1.5. I'm trying to rush in there. Obviously, you got the 50%. So sick. I'm done. I'm not fucking with them. I've already had a rough day, and I know myself, and mentally exhausted to the point where I can't really make any more decisions. And another side piece, the reason why, a very good reason why to trail and be done, is because to exit the trade this way is to remove all the emotions, is to remove all the thinking, to remove all the other extra shit that comes with trading and fear of missing out and over trading and blah, blah, blah. So when I keep it this way, I call it squeezing out. I don't hear anyone say it that way, but it's just this term I'm talking about. But the purpose is that it makes trading easier. It takes you away from all that shit that we talked about. So anyways, what did it do? Well, you popped right to the 50, came back to the 25, came to the 50, came right to my buddy. You think that's fucking random? You think that's random? No, buddy. No. After it hits back to the 50, 25, 50, comes underneath, plays around, drives. Motherfuckers just trying to buy it. They know it's bullish. Right? Obviously, once you come above here, you're bullish. Right? I'm not playing with these people, though. And you see we come and we tag. Oh, where did we tag? We tagged right there on the opening day gap. All right, that's why they're trying to take away electronic trade. That's why they're trying to make it 24-hour trading, because these levels are what they're referencing. So what are we talking about? We're talking about the algorithm is referencing areas that it's using, and it's all the ones that I talk about every day, right? So when you have these are also time-based levels. When we have that, the algorithm is, when we talk about the first imbalance of the month, the week, and all these gaps and all these things, that it is reference. It has to have a reference. If the algorithm is running, has to open up the month, it has certain levels that it's going to, and the AMD and all those things, and it's running off of this system, right? So it has to reference something, right? So, and obviously this is a little liquidity play, obviously, and just real simple. So we have that, and we have imbalances, right? Inefficiencies. So we come and we tag there, boom. We had the first imbalance of the PM session. We come above it, pretty much gone after that. Ooh, swept the 930, comes right back to the 25, pushes up for what? Oh, that 930 little swing high. Boom, comes back in, rushes back. Why? Because these people are buying here. But we didn't hit this level yet, but hey, it don't matter. And almost hitting that 1.5. And that's the whole purpose here. of what we're talking about. So I don't, so if we look at this from a distance, dump, pump. The dump had 3 fucking drives. What do you want to do? But we know that's very logical and common. We'll say common's a better word, right? And then we have our drives up. The reason why this was suspect as fuck, once you get these down push violent candles like that, I was like, okay, cool. All right, you want to come lower. All right, we get it. And then you'll see how Nas was late to the party coming to this area. And if you're on the 15-minute, coming to this area and this area because S&P and Dow, I believe, had already swept this. So they were just late to the party. What was I going to say? Move forward, bro. Move forward. 25 minutes. Dollar on some speaker shit too. And came back. So you can see here. Look at the time. It's 11 o'clock here. 10 o'clock. 10:45, I'm sorry. 11 o'clock. We had this area here going on, okay, and then difficulty for us going up, obviously, but we started pushing down hard, and then you see this right here. This is a little overkill. 11:30 started pushing back up. So the end of so coming into London close is what this reversal is what I'm really trying to say. So this is a reversal London close trade and time frame here. So we do reverse back and we push up. But whatever. Let's see here. Didn't use this too much, but so we sold off here and we swept there. We swept there, all in harmony there. All right. Little whacked out here. And then I took this buy based off of that divergence right there because we had higher lows with S&P and Dow at the time. But there's liquidity here, so you understand that if it's going to keep lower, it's going to come taking that guy out. But and then they all just kind of came down here, and what's it called? This had this was a divergence here with S&P. It did not draw it. This right here, very slightly lower high, and then well, we can put it on Nas if we're looking at both. You can compare just S&P and Dow. I mean Nas, but here you can see that that's clear a break, and that's why when they did that, they sank down. I was like, you fuck y'all, I'm done. I'm not messing with y'all. Done. So and then watching this come down violently, I'm like, okay, I know where you're going. All right, I'm gonna buy that 50. Didn't work out, and then I ended up buying this. That worked out beautifully, right? So what else was I gonna say? So I was talking about this shit with Dow. They wanted to come in, and I didn't draw it. And you're probably like, dude, just draw it. I don't need to draw it. But I need to delete that other one. Oh boy, so videos get long. All right. I don't like to mark up these other charts like that, but basically, so lower low, we closed up here, and then we sank down yesterday. And then what did they do? Once they tapped in underneath that liquidity that I was talking about, if you remember, you've been watching, all 15 of you, if you remember, then it pushed back up to seal some of that breakout and seller's level. Then it came down to wipe out that buyer and get back into this. Squeeze some of that breakout level, or that momentum level, I should say. And then it came right back up. So, by the way, again, this is the difference. Yesterday, Nas didn't come into their gap of the week, and we ended up coming down. So Nas is just late to the party. So we had already done that with them, and yeah, again, just a dump and pump. So all one drive there, 2 drives, 3 drives, and whatever. So Let's move forward. And then you see these guys right here. So S&P already came outside of their gap, and they bounced from that. Took out that guy right there and that guy right there. This is London, all right, and then pushes up to squeeze. 930 sells off, comes in for that liquidity right there. Tags back to that. It's a daily, isn't it? Yeah. It's just forget the levels even. Just look at the liquidity, which was that guy right there. That's all they were looking for. They were trying to tap that motherfucker before they go. So they got the higher highs and higher lows. They got to shake somebody, and also institutions who are buying here, they might not put all of their amount of trades of leverage, and then they'll come back to get more of their position filled. Let's just say the other 50%, for example. And then they tag them, and then they take off. So, and they're back up here. Again, I think we're still bullish, but we're just laying on this top for a little too long. And that's what it can do, obviously. So again, that's why the summer was going to be whatever. But speakering out. Oh, another thing I wanted to mention about speakering out. You can see the drives there too. See that? See that? What was I going to say? What the hell was I saying? I just forgot what I was gonna say. Let me just move forward. And then S&P, not S&P, Nvidia, all the majors were kind of moving in lockstep down then up. But they were, as you can see, they're just still stuck here, and they're just dangling this, which sucks. I don't, So in a sense, it's kind of like this situation here where we still just considering popping up with this gap here. Bullish is generally, you'll see that, but they see how they wicked, and they're just playing around, and this is just, it's not really at this point. It's like, okay, well, we'll follow the reason for the buy, the sell down, the buy up is because it's no matter where it's going, that's generally what the case is, right? So we understand that, and we, as a day trader, we're taking advantage of those moments. But let me tell you something. If I was a swing trader and I was holding these fucking buys, that would suck right now. Just coming right back. So, but as you see, this position, it's becoming a position level, and I'm surprised they didn't come any lower and get into this weekly gap. That's right here. I'm surprised they didn't do that. See how look at, they're making higher lows in the big picture, right? And they're just squeezing out. So, I'm talking too much. Fuck, man. There's something else I wanted to say, but I gotta go. So just don't get lost in all these green lines, and I'm just using them as areas. The dark ones are going to be the ones that are going to be most important. The lines are just obviously highs. Important highs and some lows there, but now we're stuck in here. So in my opinion, it gets uglier in the second part of the month. So what's fucked up is it's already been ugly, how uglier can it get? So it's supposed to do, you see this higher low, you see that? So that's, I was drawing that, above these highs, but they're doing it in bigger ranges. And looking at the seasonality right now as we're speaking, we're supposed to see a lot of that now. So it's just July is just going to close obviously higher than the month open. So January, here's January. I'm sorry, July 1st right here, right? So we pretty much came and tagged back that level. I mean, you just look at it on a month level. You'll see that we came in right there. That's the open of the month, and look to your right. It's sitting right with that all-time high. So just look at this area here with that green level, that big one right there. And they're just again sweeping underneath it. It's really all that was. So in a bullish scenario, from now, okay, again, I'll say this again. So we made the low. We got We got higher highs and higher lows in this leg. Finale. And then pretty much we had a little speaker there. See the speaker? See that little origin? Highs, lows. I'm just going to call it, this is the structure here. Bam. See that? Forget that internal shit. You'll understand what I mean in a second. You see that? So inside here, so see how they came low, high, low, and then high, and then low, expanded? It's just to confuse you. But it's really the low. Okay, stop. High, lower high. Doesn't keep going. You would want it to keep going because the retracement from here to here, oh, we're under a 61 and blah, blah, blah. Right? Nope, they don't give a fuck about that. Their goal was to algorithmically get below this gap and tag these guys here. I remember that low is the open of that 1 hour candle. But and then we pushed up hard. So that's why I held it, because besides it being a very deep discount from considering that range, I didn't need to hit that high, and it still did hit that high. I still played it smooth by getting out right here. Right. I was also at the 25% of that 25% of our opening range gap. So don't need to be right, playing it smooth, and that's when I want to trail it here and aggressively, like to the point where I'm like, just tag me out, bro. You know what I mean? I think I said enough. And did I do the projections? I didn't do it yesterday either. But what did it do? It came right back deep into the range. So you should be waiting for this liquidity raise. Well, I mean, okay, so oh shit. That's not what I wanted to do. So you'll see, we'll just call it this. So far we've done this. I would like for it to just keep going up, obviously. All right. But so that's option one, right? We buy kind of where we're at. We're also testing this last down candle here, by the way, this July 1st. So that's the open of July 1st. Here's a better example, that daily order block here. This demand block here. You see that? That last down candle keeps digging in. See that shit? So, the wick here, the problem with this is that the wick is stupid large. And, they might want to come back into here. So another bullish example is possibly something like this. And this is like best case. That's like best case scenario. Like, I don't know if it's going to happen. But if we're bearish, and because it's high resistance coming back in, sometimes it could top and it can come back really deep. My bearish example would, obviously, it cannot really close above here. Notice how we're 50% of this imbalance, right? I don't have it drawn right there. 50%, the bodies are stuck there. So it could, if it was to be, then we would have to come down here. And that's probably what their target is, right? So the bullish I gave you, the bearish I gave you, but again, in reality, I would like for it to just dump and pump for the next day. Tomorrow is Thursday, so still a bullish week. Speakering out though a lot, so that's where we are. You guys take care. God bless.